is I want everybody to have an understanding of what it means for us as Trinidadians and Tobagonians to be emancipated together. Oh, I see some people looking at my t-shirt. I should deal with that phrase. So I I'm wearing a t-shirt called the Homosexual Agenda. Right? Funny story. That has absolutely nothing to do with the theme, but I'll get out of the way anyway. At the last performance, the last LiveArt Bistro performance, somebody commented on my blog and say I sound gay. I don't know what that means, but I am actually an organizer and activist for an LGBT rights group. And I thought that since I already sound gay, I might as well wear the t-shirt to match. So I'm here with my homosexual agenda talking about emancipation, and the first thing I want to deal with is what it means for us as Trinidadians and Tobagonians to be emancipated together, and what that means for us collectively to own the title of Trinidadians and Tobagonians and all the stuff wrapped inside that. So the first piece that I'm going to perform is called An Earth Birthed to Glory. The soil ages beneath my feet. 1 year closer to the wishful jubilee that itself birthed it, the idealist womb that nurtured nationalism. After the barriers between our members were divided, spread open in love and passion, our members either standing erect or leaning back in both acceptance and added want. The ground I walk on celebrates its birthday, if you will. The anniversary of a day it burst from the belly of a dream of us instead of them, instead of colonialism, us instead of Union Jacks painted on our minds as we form the backdrop for some archaic idea of power, that is, a land painted red, white and blue. Its psyche painted red, white and blue, its people painted either white over black, or blue over black, or dead over black. I may never understand a childbirth this complex. Some may even call it the birth of an adult. Mature, confident, self-sufficient, independent of the mother, tricked into thinking she had aborted millions of children she will never be willing to call her own, herself a surrogate for the motherly love and expectation and Father God that wished to see his young ideal grow. I wish they could see it now. I will never understand a childbirth this complex. Some may call it stillbirth. The soil on which I stand, shifting in places, ages. Today is its birthday. Its cells now rot rapidly with a lack of comprehension of the mind that moves it towards the stars that it was told it could never reach this low to his familiars. Its cells now rot rapidly with a lack of comprehension of the thought that governs it, and the strength that conceived it, and the passion that birthed it. Yes, this hope was impregnated easier than some of its sisters, but now the child takes his right for life for granted, not knowing the countless nights that wills met under cold hate and a heated passion to conceive a dream. I will never understand a child with this complex. Made romantic by those who fertilized this dream, happy birthday is a phrase pronounced with recklessness. Our gifts to this adult are superficial, when its heart needs the nurturing that brought it out of its womb and under the light of the sun, to taste the milk that nourishes strength and to meet the gaze of its loving Father, guiding it past the scraping of knees to the climbing of trees that will lead to the grasping at the stars that he would see his child have. There is no gift that I could give this, but maybe good health. That I do my part to this once tough tissue of its birth and do justice to its years. Maybe, by my mind wandering on what might have put this child on earth, I can best celebrate its birth, but I will never understand a childbirth this complex. So I see people snapping here. That's cool. It's very American. I like claps. Claps is like nice and traditional. Let's do that again. It's interesting that some of you all did that, because my next piece is actually about something that Trinidadians, I think, oftentimes take for granted. Anybody ever watched Trivia before? Everybody knows what's GV, no?
Yes.
The show on Gael. Nobody knows. But, right, what's a Gael? But, like, how many people don't know what's Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
I'm aware of it.
A colossal, not raise of hands, that's cool. And the next piece that I'm doing is actually about how some of us take our own culture for granted and like we gravitate towards cultures that are much better promoted outside of us. And the name of the piece is Chuck Norris Robbed the Midnight Robber. Chuck Norris could do anything, that's true. I don't love our carnival. I'm not really a soca fan. I'd much rather watch Gossip Girl than TV. Chuck Norris robbed the Midnight Robber and Blue Devils check under their beds at night for Lil Wayne. All figures have been disfigured, reformed and deformed to conform to what we have learned to judge by. Pop culture is culture. The US is the world, and we are just one colony. Edward Cullen is my role model. Paramore is my soundtrack. Barack Obama is my president. Somewhere in Trinidad and Tobago, a young man is saying, who gives a rat's ass about Marshall Montano? I would still give much more generously of myself to be projected onto a world that doesn't seem to have control over my mind. If, for just 1 minute, I could convince a young American girl that Trinidad is not the capital of Jamaica, maybe I'd smile a little bit brighter. We don't even wear neighborly identities. We'd rather wear stars and stripes than sing our own anthems, no matter how gully. I like Stephanie Meyer and Anne Rice. I like Miley Cyrus and Britney Spears. I like Wolverine and Iron Man. Even though a poorly remembered Zabuka man saved my days. Paved my ways with the thinly stretched hope that my voice won't die here, drenched in those better packaged and with thick synthesis. Samuel Selborne sells in the suburbs. So I should be able to watch the next episode of Desperate Housewives and say, you know what, fellas? We make it. A little bit. That my Midnight Robber could reclaim what's rightfully his and gain dignity and victory in his birthright, whatever Brian Honoré wants it to be. But I'm still listening to One Direction, and I don't know where that leaves us.